I received a mandatory medical retirement after 24 years of military service, but I still wanted to continue my oath to the United States and the Constitution. I found a way to do this, and now I teach the teachable and expose the tyrannical. Hey y'all, on this day, Georgia Transparency and I were out in Catoosa County, Georgia, checking out our government, making sure they were being transparent. And if you've not seen his video, go on over and check out what happened at the courthouse. But other than the courthouse, we also went to a couple other places, and that's what's going on here. Right now we are at a Georgia Department of Education, and when GT rang the bell to get service, we were left hanging. We were just pretty much put on hold, and we couldn't get anybody to answer, so we started walking around, which is what you're seeing now, walking around the building, seeing if there was another way in, see if there was other places to go into. There were police cars in the area, parked around back. We are assuming, however, we don't know for sure, but we are assuming that they were called on us, and evidently they told the people just to ignore us and we would go away, because there was only one person that came to the door, and as you'll see, he just gave us a website to go to and slammed the door. I will be including some of the footage from the Sheriff's Department when we went to talk to the Catoosa County Sheriff about what happened at the courthouse. I want you to pay attention to the statements of the captain representing the Sheriff's Department. And if this is the way that Catoosa County feels, then they should all give up their badges, in my opinion, and just become security guards. They are not policy enforcement. They are not judge's order enforcement. They are law enforcement. The law says that cameras are not allowed in a courtroom, except under Chapter 22. It does not say they're not allowed in the courthouse. That is what a judge has ordered. So we're going to get into the video here and show you a little bit about our day in Catoosa County, Georgia.
Giving thanks to all the men and women fighting for our freedoms. The ones that I left it to. Love all you guys.
Somewhat up.
It's open, but nothing on it. It's sleeping.
Yeah. Well. Thank you. So what's a lawful? Wow. I guess the front desk here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she's been gone for right at almost coming up on 20 minutes now. And
He came to the door and said, go to the website, and then shut the door. That's very rude. You were talking to him. It looks like we have been left on hold outside of the Catoosa County Board of Education. Gentleman said he was going to get a records request form. He hasn't returned, and they're not answering their call box. GT is currently calling them. All right, what she said, if you didn't hear it, is that she's in a different building. So she's going to get somebody to come and help us. We already had someone helping us, and he just disappeared and hasn't come back. So I think they're stalling for law enforcement. So we'll see, and we'll be back with you in a minute. It's fine.
Hey, I'm Captain Stalker.
Captain Stalker?
Stalker.
Yep, like Stockyard, but no why.
For just a second. So I'm not sure if you know these, I have their names and badge numbers and everything. Not sure if you know these two gentlemen here. And then that gentleman here.
Yes.
Working on a story. We were not allowed access or granted to the courthouse.
Okay.
That is a huge violation. Is there something that can be done about that?
So that's set by the Superior Court judges?
Yeah, the Superior Court judges can't override a constitutional law.
So we just enforce the orders that the judges issue, right? And so it's just like with a trial. If media wants to come in, that's got to be either.
Well, that's the courtroom. I'm not talking about the courtroom.
Yeah, and that's actually what the law said.
I'm talking about the courthouse. Kind of like how I'm in here right now on the camera, which is perfectly legal. I can't go back in the jail cell or in the pods with a camera. I can't do that.
Sure.
So think of the courthouse that way. That could be the courtroom. This is the courthouse.
Understand what
So
you're
they're
saying?
enforcing some unconstitutional practices down there.
So, and I understand what you're saying, but it's just the same as this is a secured area for the sheriff's
Yeah,
office,
the
right?
courthouse, isn't it?
Well, the whole courthouse is for courthouse security. And there again, we
But he was talking
enforce
about enforcing policies and law. I'm sorry, policies and procedures.
from what
So
the
what if-
judges issue.
So if the judge issues nobody's allowed in this court that wears a blue shirt, would they enforce that?
Well, you're not comparing apples to oranges.
Well, they said I can't come in with a camera.
Correct.
It's the same thing. What if they said no blue shirts?
So, and you can't go in with phones.
Of course you can.
The,
Can I file a formal complaint
With?
with the sheriff's office against those three?
against the three deputies?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, I would like to file a formal complaint of unconstitutional practices in violation of constitutional rights.
Yeah, the officer in charge pointed right over the metal detector. And he was even mistaken in that, and he corrected himself once I pointed it out, but he goes, the law says no cameras in the courthouse. And I went, that says courtroom. That is the law. Georgia law says
Sure.
none in the courtroom.
Right.
And he goes, well, it's policies and procedures. It's like, so a policy can't supersede.
I understand what you're saying.
And he goes, well, you have to go talk to admin, go talk to the sheriff's department. It's like, we understand that.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't have to talk to them because the law says we can, just not in the courtroom.
Here's the thing, if I want access to a courtroom, there's a thing called Rule 22. This got to be approved by the judge for me to take recording equipment, my camera, into a courtroom. A courthouse, you cannot restrict that because I need to go in there and I need to file open records requests. I can't do that. Now I'm being restricted from services, all because I have a camera which is protected by the First Amendment, and there's a plethora of case law behind that of Smith versus Cumming, Georgia. There's so much case law that falls in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals and with the U.S. Supreme Court that says what we're doing is perfectly legal and they can't do what they're doing. I just want to know if you're going to support their decision.
I'm going to support what the judges tell us to enforce, right?
What if the judge tells you to go out and take everybody's guns because we're taking the Second Amendment back, or you want to go door to door taking people's firearms?
Well, there's
Just because a judge tells you to do
you're
it.
not comparing apples to apples.
A judge can't pass laws.
I understand that.
They can't create
I
laws.
understand that.
They can create policy procedures for their courtroom,
Sure.
not for the courthouse. I need to go to the clerk's office because I need to file open records request. I can't do that because they're not allowing me in there with a camera. I just want to know if the sheriff's office, Sheriff Sis, y'all support that decision.
So we will enforce what the judge's orders are at this moment. If those change, then we'll change, right?
So as you can see, Catoosa County is not about freedom and transparency. The sheriff's office is more about enforcing policy and judges' orders than enforcing law. And now in a new update, they are filing privacy complaints to silence the voice of the public. In the United States, we have the right to free speech. We also have the right to be citizen journalists.